about Bubs.
Good evening,
right?
Kings of the Cash. Gary B, the Casual Comic Guy, and super happy to be back with the 1011. Of course, I got my co-host, Jim. How you doing tonight, Digger Jim?
I'm doing great. My weekend starts today. So, you know, that 410 thing, man, Fridays is fun day.
Mine's starting too. Now, Jim, as you know, no deck of cards is complete without a couple of jokers. So we got a pair with us tonight. Of course, filling in the other co-hosted seat, we have Comic Mag Musings himself. Bill, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am great. Especially, I've been waiting to do a show. It's been hit or miss lately with the job, but I took care of that and went and got a new one. So we're going to be back to normal. And of course,
I'm looking forward to it. And speaking, Digger Jim mentioned 410. I think that's Bub's special roll them if you got them day, isn't it? I'm not positive.
That's about 10 days early.
10 days early.
We got about 420. All right.
420.
And of course, our guest of the hour, none other than Bubs Comics himself. Coming back for a third show. Thank you so much, Bub.
I can't take all the credit for being here. I was asked. Thank you all. Thank you all for having me. It's an absolute pleasure. My third time, I believe, the second that I can remember, but the numbers tell me 3. And
well, that 410 thing had you going the first time, right?
Absolutely. How do you know that? Wait a minute.
2/3 of my memories here are just clear as mud. And I want to thank you all for having me once again on. I don't know just how far under the barrel you had to scrape to get back to my name again, but I'm glad there's such a dearth of comic book talent in our community that you've come upon me again. I thank you. Thank you. That's all.
Well, for all those watching, we've been doing a lot of different theme shows for the 1011 lately. We do have a Wonder Woman theme one coming up with Ryan from Magic Lasso coming up next week.
He's a Wonder Woman fan?
I know, right? Who knew?
I think he just started, actually.
He's so quiet about it.
Yeah. I believe he was a Conan fan just about last week.
And then, well, we had Bill on with a special magazine episode.
I'm sorry I missed that.
No, he isn't. Don't believe him, chat. No, he isn't.
But of course, I want to do a good girl episode.
He was washing his hair that night. I remember reaching out to him.
Yes. Takes a lot of shampoo to get the back.
Oh, you beat me to it.
There you go.
Just about to say it. But I want to do a good girls episode. Jim's a big good girl art fan. I'm a big good girls art fan.
Yeah.
If I'm not doing Conan, it's Women of Marvel and Tomb Raider. It's some other things. Bub and I have a few of them in common. But whenever I think of good girl art, and in all seriousness, I always think of Bub because he's got some of the best, just one of the best collections out there with good girl cover art on it. But Bub, give the quick 2 minutes who you are, what kind of shenanigans people can expect on your channel. We'll say hi to everybody, then we'll start.
Sure. My name is Bub. Welcome to Bubs World. And you're probably watching Bubs Comics. So if you got all that figured out, then you'll realize you're not. You're actually on Gary B's channel, which is the only time you'll ever see him and me together because, it's a one-way street on this thing. So I want to thank you all for having me on. Basically, I'm a comic collector. I collect vinyl records. I collect guitars, although I'm terrible at playing them. I collect Funko Pops, some original art, and some Steelbook movie collection. So is anything physical media, analog, and basically dead to everyone else. That's the kind of stuff I'm looking for. And I just have YouTube to show it off. We're not here to make $1 million. I'm never quitting my day job and becoming a YouTuber.
YouTubers.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it once you start making money on it?
Yeah.
I've made a little bit of money off YouTube, but I've got most of the monetization turned off on my channel. I take super chats, but that's about it. and hopefully no ads. Although I think there's some I still need to turn off. I've left on by accident. So yeah, I think get a little bit of money for you, but basically, I'm just a collector sharing my collection. So of various types and things.
Nice.
Same here, and just having conversations with people that share the same interests, just like the rest of us, right? We're just here for fun and good time. For me, this is my zen. I come on here, I relax. But I forgot that you're a record collector. We have done a few 10-1-1s album versions. Maybe we'll have to get you back to do an album version of the 10-1-1.
Oh yeah, that sounds good.
We've done 2 of those so far, and those are great. We've done a game board one. We've done a couple, 3 or 4 action figure ones, or 4 or 5. So we've been playing around with the theme and having a lot of fun. But let's go say hi to everyone that's joined us this evening.
That sounds really good. If you, I collect all those things, not as many action figures, but those, and I'd like to see some of those prior episodes. I'm going to go ahead and give you a sub right now.
Right. Well, just don't forget to unsub me again when you're finished.
Yeah, just temporarily.
Oh, I want to catch those. And any future episodes, you'll have to send me an.
I'll let you know when to sub and unsub.
Yeah, shoot me a message on Instagram. I'll unblock you and
right.
immediately.
Las Cruces.
Oh my God.
Good evening, sir. Jim, of course. Bill dropping in to say hello before he came on here and doing a piss poor job of corralling Bob already. Carter, how are you?
It's like herding cats, I tell you.
Right. Mr. Chuck Hensey, great to see you, sir. Hack, how you doing? Appreciate it.
Hack said thumbs down. It's
right. Yeah, Bob saying hello.
He's mad at me right now. People have told me he's mad at me. I don't know what to do about it.
Robert.
But Hack has a new channel, a new gaming channel.
Oh.
So check that out. I don't think it has any videos up yet, but he's going to start a groundswell on it. So go check out Hack's new gaming channel. I think it's called Hack's Gaming with an apostrophe.
Yes, sir. And Chuck and John's Comics for Kids have both done DVD collections, and they're going to do a DVD collection off. We had to postpone that one, so we got to reschedule it.
All right.
But without further ado, I know it's in your contract that when you're the guest, it's got to be about you. So let's get right back to you.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. Thank you for reading the contract. Most people skip through that part. I didn't see my bowl full of only blue M&Ms, though, so whoever you've got on staff might need to sharpen their skills. So we're going to do the quick 4. Is it the 4-1-1? What's the format here? How many ones?
41-1.
41-1. All right, we're going to start off. So for those of you who have never seen the show or just briefly perused one right before this show like I did, basically we're going to show 10 books that I like, right, that are on theme of some sort. Today's theme is, of course, good girl art, which for those of you who don't know just means women. And generally they don't have to be provocative nature, but something that puts a little twinkle in your eye. Right. Whatever it may be. So for different people, it's different things, but something that just makes you go,
right.
Just that little bit.
Before you start, real quick, I'm going to throw out a question because I've always wondered this. I'm trying to remember when the time period of the good girl art officially started. Do you? I mean,
for me, the earliest good girl art is probably in the Atomic Age.
Okay.
That's for me.
Yeah.
But some people will say the Jungle comics, which predate the Atomic Age, is more Golden Age.
Okay.
Some people will say that the Jungle art, it gets very suggestive in the Jungle art period.
Sure.
So I would say probably in Golden Age is Jungle art. Then it really picks up steam in the late 40s, early 50s with the Atomic Age and the space helmets and girls in futuristic attire. So stuff like that. So basically stuff that delved into the past and stuff that goes into the future, we like to imagine the ladies are wearing less in both those time periods than they are in the present.
The Jungle for sure more provocative than the alien tentacle age, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. I didn't mean to deviate. I just legitimately was like, I don't know when that started. I kind of want to know.
Yeah, I would say it's mostly with Golden Age Jungle comics. That's what I would say. And of course, there's lots of good girl art in early crime books as well, and alike. So
nice.
There you go. Look, Jackson Roy Kirk's already asleep. We got to show some comics or we're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
Plus, right?
I promised Gary I wouldn't go over 12 minutes. So we got to rapid fire these. I got about 30 minutes left. Let's see. So first off, we're going to start off with an Atomic Age book just because I'm throwing this out there. Now, last time I was on this show, for the 4 of you that saw it, I was showing off a lot of Golden Age books, a lot of older stuff. And people were fussing, saying that they thought I was going to bring the heat. So instead, I'll show another Golden Age books just to shut them up. Here's Startling Comics number 47.
Yeah.
And we're going to take a moment to appreciate Alex Schomburg's fine work in this.
Yeah, that's a beauty.
Cover.
So this is, if you're into Golden Age good girl art, this leaves very little to be desired. You have here a woman scantily clad, in bondage no less, which is a common theme, not only in my collection, but amongst all good girl art. And some people make a distinction between good girl and bad girl art.
Mm.
I get pretty loose with that, as I do with most bad girls. But the point is,
I heard a couple of beers will get you that way.
Absolutely. Bub, yeah. 5 more for them than for me. And
he's already petting the book.
Yeah.
Here's what happens. So if there's something called, vixen art. Okay. Yeah. So it's a vixen. So are you a good girl or are you a vixen? So generally good girl art, even though it's put across terms for all scantily clad women all over, is usually reserved for women that are either in distress or the heroine of the story, not the kind of heroine Bill's familiar with, but the heroine of the story. Yes, this one. Or so they're either someone who's been held captive or someone who's a sidekick or something like that, or they're the hero, but they're very usually not the villain. Okay. However, as you know, with modern times, a lot of that gets all mixed together. You can have anti-hero and all that other stuff. So I tend to consider good girl art to be victims, if you will, ladies in distress, and also heroines, and then a little bit of anti-heroes. So that's what I keep it.
Some femme fatales.
Yeah. So if you just have some succubus with giant hooters and horns, I'm not calling that good girl art.
No.
I might call her, but I'm not calling her good girl. Right. So there you go.
That looks so clean. I can't believe that's like a point.
Yeah, it's got to be incomplete to
Are
present.
You missing half the book or something?
I'm missing the other half of the cover.
Okay.
All right.
Because that presents so well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
the only person that sees the other half is the wall, so who cares?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's exactly right. All right, we're going to put this in a safe location. We're good. All right, I'll start off with one of my favorite all-time good girl arts. One of the first times that I ever got that twinkle in my eye as a youth in front of the very early days of computers. We're talking pre-Windows 95 here. We're talking, DOS prompts and all kinds of good stuff. And one of my first and favorite moments that I had that little twinkle, not just in my eye, but other places as well, was when I saw Lara Croft in the Tomb Raider.
Yeah.
No, people don't know it, but Bob invented internet porn.
No doubt.
I didn't invent it because the inventor profited off it much more. I just heavily requested it.
He'd wait for that screen just to
man. Yeah.
Right.
Are we there yet?
So here we have Tomb Raider, Lara Croft. This is the 1/2 Wizard special. Now there's lots I could have chosen. Yes, there's Andy Parks, one of my favorite artists for Tomb Raider. There's some good Adam Hughes as well in Tomb Raider, some Greg Land. A lot of my favorite artists have cycled through the Tomb Raider covers and interiors. However, this one by I know it's Lopez. I think it's Garcia. Michael Lopez. I think it's Michael Lopez. So this one by Michael Lopez is one of my all-time favorites. I think it really accentuates some of her assets here. It's just
yeah, the way the wind whips through the hair like that.
Yeah, she's heroic. She looks. I love and she used to wear these. I think she still does in some of them, but at this time she was wearing those kind of those red Lennon glasses.
Yep,
and they were from the games as well. So here she has them prominently displayed, right there. So fine stuff. It's also a Kiss cover
Oh yeah.
with full body there. It has a little foil action. It's all very good. I enjoy it. This is one of my all-time favorite Tomb Raider covers. Never gets any love, but I think it's a great representation of how Laura can be displayed as good girl art.
And you know that whole series, there's no bad covers in it.
No, it's a fantastic series. I have the entire series, but I am on a mission to complete the series with all variants,
And
all different art variants. Which
like,
just
I'll go to
means,
the side, it's a really good read.
If you listen carefully, can you hear the fabric scream as it tries to stay together?
Absolutely.
Oh, I just thought that was coming from Bub's pants.
What a nice guy. Next up, we have somebody that I think probably Gary is also familiar with. I know Bill likes this one too, but we're gonna tiptoe into the bad girl section here and go with the anti-heroes with Vampirella.
Oh, nice.
This is one of my all-time favorite covers.
Autographed too.
It is autographed by the man himself, Adam Hughes.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of my favorite positions. This skeleton right here. If anyone ever finds me in this position post hominis, then I died a happy man.
You did it right.
This is afterlife goals for me. Everybody else has life goals. I've got afterlife goals. And here they are.
I swear you should post that one tomorrow.
He's missing Halloween, Gary. There's not much I can do.
Halloween took it out of Bubs. That's what's left of him.
One of my favorites. Absolutely one of my favorites. One of my favorite Adam Hughes covers of all time. Maybe my favorite.
Right.
And my favorite Vampirella cover. And again, my favorite desired position in life. Be right.
I think Collie hit it on the head. About to get boned.
I'm not a big Vampirella person, but Adam Hughes Vampirella is my favorite Vampirella. And my favorite cover I showed you is that Tomb Raider Journeys one.
Yes.
It's my favorite Adam Hughes cover.
You talking about the number one? Talking about this one?
I am.
Oh, sure.
That is my favorite cover by Adam Hughes.
Yeah. Well, we like that well, but it didn't fit in the 10-1-1. This is what we get today.
That's okay.
Vampy.
Oh, and I think my second favorite of his is the Lady Rawhide covers he did.
Yeah, I could get those out too, but they're not right up front. I got to dig through the L's to the R's. It's a big mess. What's up, K-pop? All right, so we got this one right here. All right, next up, we've got another fantastical book, if I don't say so myself. Another one of my favorite artists. So far we've had Alex Schomburg, right?
Mm-hmm.
We've had Michael Lopez, who didn't do a lot of art, although I do have a piece of original art by him. And then Adam Hughes. Another one of my all-time favorite artists is Greg Land. And one of my all-time favorite heroines is Spider-Woman.
Yep. Same here. Love that cover. When that cover came out, I think I bought 4 of them. It's so good, that cover.
Yeah. And that's 8 great reasons to buy this cover in total. So there you go. I absolutely love this cover. I've got an original piece at right now. Greg Land's working on it. I'm gonna pick it up next weekend. So I'm looking forward to that, and having him do me a White Queen.
Ooh,
X-Men. So
and his Black Cat's really good too.
Yeah.
Yes, his Black Cat is good. It was one of those two. But I really wanted a specific outfit that he's drawn before because he's an X-Men artist and a Spider-Man artist. So to me, it had to be one of those two primarily, or Spider-Woman, as he's done her quite a bit. But that's still Spider-Man universe, right? So there you go. Good stuff. Absolutely love Greg Land. One of my
Jackson speaks from experience with that, Gary.
Well, you know, Jackson's old. He's got the old typey shackles in his basement. He's got the key carried down with 2 hands.
Yeah.
We'll delve into another one of my favorite artists. So in compiling this list, and I'll only take a moment more of your time before showing more jigglies. One of my favorite
Speed it up, Bob.
how am I gonna make this list? It's my 3rd time appearing on the show, likely my last, if my agent gets the memo. So I just feel like I had to think a little bit. I guess some of this from my old friend Roger, who I only call my old friend because he's old and because he doesn't call me anymore. But my old friend Roger, he always makes it extra difficult for himself to do these types of challenges. So I, in turn, try to do the same thing. So I didn't want to replicate characters. So only one character shown per. So that's all you'll get. And then also I wanted to think of some of the classic good girl characters and have only one representation of those each. And in some cases, only one of the artists, but you'll see I break that for the 2-1-1s. Yeah. Right. So next up, we have one of my all-time favorite artists, Dave Stevens.
Oh, yeah.
With Sheena, with a great representation of a golden age goddess brought a new life by the supple and sensual inks of Dave Stevens.
Oh, you're a big Dave Stevens fan like me?
Well, I weigh about twice what you do, Bill.
Yeah, I even got a little
that book earlier.
Of me, in the likes of Dave Stevens. So I didn't know you were a big fan too.
I am a huge fan of Dave
I
Stevens.
got that book
watching your videos. I'm still a big fan. Yeah. What's that, Gary? I couldn't hear you over.
I couldn't hear you over Bub talking, Gary.
I got a copy of
Gary?
that book.
Just repeat it for us, will you?
$10.
Repeat that for us, Gary.
I'm gonna keep going. I can do this all night. I'm getting views.
All right, Gary picked this up for $10 for those of you who couldn't understand the garbles. But here's Sheena #1 in 3D, stunning 3D.
I love those Blackthorn books. They're so good.
Yes, they are. Fantastic stuff. Dave Stevens, one of my all-time favorite artists, and Sheena ain't a bad character either. And certainly, she is the first for those history buffs out there. She is credited as being the first female heroine to have her own title. Sheena #1. So there you go. All right. Next up, we have another jungle goddess. We have one of my all-time favorite artists for Good Girl, Frank Cho, doing a lovely Shanna, the she-devil. Look at this.
And I was wondering if you were going to show any Frank Cho.
I was going to say that too, Jim.
I love his stuff.
Yes. And I think he gets a little erratic. Some are better than others. Yeah. But I think one of his most consistent runs are both the covers and interiors on Shanna the She-Devil. So if any of you have had an opportunity to see this book, pick it up, buy it now. And if you're at a convention that I'll be at, I got one of these for sale in a bin. Because every time I see it, I can't stop but buy it.
Well, that and his Jungle Girl. He had a couple of Jungle Girl series out too that were nice.
Yes. And the attention to detail is outstanding. Notice the crosshatch work on the left and right.
Yeah, that's why you bought it.
You notice that? It's almost like a waffle pattern that he put on that. Can you see that, Jim?
Yeah, I in detail. Yes, sir.
You have an extra pair of glasses you'd like to put on. Get a little closer on this one. Be careful. There you go.
And also, what I like in my Good Girl art, Bob, good hair.
Yeah, flowing hair it's a must, right?
I didn't notice any specifically.
Yeah.
Oh yes, I see it there. Lovely, lovely hair, lovely eyes.
You're looking at it, yeah. I think I have that 7-issue series. Yeah.
Yes, it's fantastic. Yes, I believe it's 8 issues, and they shorted you one. But let me know which one you're.
No, 2 of his issues are stuck together.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah, 2. I was going to say 2 of them were stuck together.
Yeah, I got it from Bub's house.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people have left straight from here to the clinic. So another kind of not vixen, but an anti-hero, heroine type gal, and another very prominent Good Girl artist. We got Red Sonja. I know nobody here cares about Red Sonja, but we have J. Scott Campbell's take on Red Sonja. Now, this is actually a connecting cover with 2 more covers featuring knees and ankles.
Yeah, exactly.
For you J. Scott Campbell fans out there.
That's a hard book to get.
Yeah.
That's funny.
I do lock my doors at night, Gary.
Huh? That is a beauty, though.
So I have the whole set of these. There's like a three cover set where it's this kind of black, white, and red, or sepia, if you will. Fred Sogn. No, I don't think it's Fred. No, that's Red. Red Sonja. There you go.
Pay a Fred to dress up like Red Sonja, but that's something different.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So fantastic stuff. And of course, some of my favorite artists have gone through the Red Sonja run as well. And so there's certain, I kind of try to pick characters where if you just like some of these characters, if you're unfamiliar with them, look them up and you're going to find just a bevy of beauties contained in these covers and interiors from a multitude of world-class good girl artists. And Red Sonja is another really good one for that. Lots of great artists have taken turns.
Oh yeah, Frank Cho is my favorite.
So. Better Red.
I mean, not Frank Cho.
That's exactly how it goes, Jackson.
Yeah. Frank Thorne is my favorite Red Sonja artist, though.
There you go, Frank Thorne. Absolutely, absolutely. So there you go. Red Sonja makes an appearance here, and we're in time so far. When you think good girls and you think bad girls, there's always that good girl that has the hero's heart, but she's a bad girl at her heart, and she pulls the hero out of his heroism and turns him into some sort of crazed sex fiend. And you know who we're talking about here. We're talking about the great Catwoman, always pulling at the old bat cape. And here we have another appearance by Adam Hughes, just because I couldn't help myself. I almost went with Jim Balint on this.
Oh,
so many Balint Cat. I have that whole run, but this is my all-time favorite Catwoman cover. Surprisingly, because it's not one of the most expensive Catwoman covers, but the composition on this book blows me away. So a lot of people look at this book and they look at it and they say, "Oh well, Catwoman is pulling, she's got like some sort of glass frame or something like that." Mm-hmm. But actually it's not. So the composition of this book is amazing. So she's actually holding a mirror. And so what you're seeing there is a reflection of Catwoman in the mirror.
Right.
And it's a mirror that she's pulled off the wall, which was hiding a safe. So she pulls a safe off the wall. She pulls a mirror off the wall to reveal the safe that allegedly she's going to crack in, right? And then she's holding the mirror back and looking at herself before she takes it down. And that's the over-the-shoulder shot that we get. Some of our favorite shots are over-the-shoulder shots. And here you have it. And just the amazing detail on this. Even the gloves. Look at the leather detail on those gloves. The zipper outfit, one of my favorites.
Where are you focusing? The gloves?
Yes, the leather. See the creases in the leather on the hands?
I'm not sure you're showing the gloves very well, sir.
The pull zipper outfit, my favorite Catwoman outfit.
Uh-huh.
The detail.
Wow, only $2.99.
I call this the Hepburn version. Because to me, Adam Hughes, for a portion on these books, drew her as Audrey Hepburn, in my opinion.
You know what? I could totally see that.
Yes. There you go.
He doesn't really care about the boobs. It's just about, he's a fashionista at heart. He just cares about the outfit.
Yes. Yeah. The outfits are important. A lot of times the shoes are important to me too, because it brings it all together,
It's an ensemble.
Yes.
It has to be perfect. And the collar has to be there.
I think she stole that outfit from Lara Croft, though.
Look at that collar.
It says
absolutely.
Meow.
It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. So I hope you all appreciate that. If you like this kind of deep dive analysis, check out Bubs World, available at your local YouTube. All right. Now, I'm going to get in a little bit of trouble on this one because it's my third of the same artist making appearance. I can't help it. He's running wild on this one. And here we have a Sally Forth, number 8. One of the most difficult books to acquire.
I've never seen that.
Is it really?
I've never seen it.
At one time, I had 6 issues of this book, while most have none. And I have blessed the community with those books, meaning people who paid me enough money to get them off my hands.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's an incredible cover.
And I've never had to come down on price. I just say, here's the price. And people are like, I'm not paying that. That's crazy. I'll find it somewhere else. And I say, I'll see you after a while. And then they go and they look and they try and find it, and you just can't find this book.
Yeah.
It's just about impossible.
Yeah, I didn't even know it existed.
Yeah.
Now, how long did it take you to write in the AH with the apostrophe on that?
My good friend Adam Hughes did that for me while complaining about not having a ham sandwich. It wasn't a very good conversation, but I did get the signature.
Uh-oh, you're boring Jackson. You better keep it going.
It does happen. Yeah, he's seen that on Bubs World countless times, but you haven't seen it anywhere else, probably ever. And now a signed copy, even more rare, one would say. And I kept one copy unsigned and I have this copy signed. So,
and what placement for the signature, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
I said it right there. I said, all right. He got it. He's a very, very, very pleasant man once he got some food in him, is what I hear.
Yeah. I say, now can I eat my ham sandwich, you jackass?
Yes.
Sure. Go ahead.
Now, this next book, one of my first forays into good girl art was Cave Woman books by Bud Root.
Oh, okay.
I'm a huge fan. For those of you, I have lots of original art by Bud Root. I've got like 7 pieces of original art by him. He's one of my all-time favorite artists. Fantastic fella and a good girl artist extraordinaire. And if this doesn't get your heart pumping, you need to check your pulse. Here we have Cave Woman. This one happens to be Marsa. What does that say?
He's misbehaving again.
Marshville Beauty.
He's
Marshville Beauties. I had to read it on the back because it's got
I know you did.
Got a thing there for the back. You see, Marshville Beauty.
I said you had already removed your finger, Bub, so just leave it. When you were looking,
what are you talking about? So there's Bud Root, one of my favorite collector. One of my favorite artists. He just does amazing stuff, and stuff like this just drives me wild, man. It's just perfect, absolutely nice. Perfect art there by a wonderful artist, great guy. So there you go. Now, I know not all of you are math magicians, but that was 10 books. Okay, that was 10 books. So we're already up to the +1+1. Right?
Yep.
So, first off, my spec pick. Now, first off, my long story.
Yes. That's nothing.
And I think this will be the 3rd time I've told this story in just as many episodes of 10-1-1 with Bub. So I'm going to tell it again.
We weren't paying attention the other 2 times, so please go ahead.
Yes, and most of those previous viewers have long since unsubscribed.
I thought
these are all new
I had them on.
subscribers. The hashtag grow together like a tumor, cut it off, and then grow another one. Yep. All right.
Exactly.
So here we have a bit of a off book. So this is Superman number 43, but it's actually a Mexican reprint of the Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes number 23.
Another hard book to get.
Yes. Yeah, now the 23 one I actually found. This is my long story, so settle in, folks. But you got to sit through this in order to get to the spec book. So that's how that works. So I'll make a long story long. Here we start off. I actually acquired the real Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes number 23 digging in a shop, and I bought it for $2. Okay. And nice. This was after it was already ridiculously expensive. It looked really good to me. Not that I wouldn't have bought it for $2 anyway. Sent it to CGC, got a 9.8, got it back, posted it, and sold it for an obscene amount of money. So the same day I got it back, I posted it for sale. Now I only did that because at that time, that was way more than I had ever spent on a comic book. It was way more than I was thinking I would ever spend on a comic book. And I was really interested in getting into pressing and cleaning my own books and things of that nature. So I used the money to buy a press. And I also always wanted a Stan Lee signature. So I bought a Captain America with a Stan Lee sig on it. And so there are certain things I wanted for my collection. Those are the 2 biggest things. So that's what funded that. Now that I regularly spend ridiculous money on books, I would like to have it back, but I want my original copy back.
Yeah.
Ooh. So I search eBay. I have a standing search on eBay for the cert number. I still have a picture of the cert number.
Wow.
So I search for that cert number. The guy I sold it to was on Instagram. That account's dead now. Don't know what happened to the guy. So I stay out there looking, always looking for that book. And if I ever find my original copy, I'll buy it back. But until then, this will have to do. Adam Hughes with some of the finest Supergirl work that has ever been done. When my mother saw this book, because I have it here on the wall quite often, she said, that reminds me of when I was a kid and girls used to sit on the hoods of cars and they'd take pictures of them. And then everywhere you went, there'd be a picture of some dude's girlfriend on the hood of his car.
Yeah.
She said, that's how they would sit. You know, of course, their skirts were longer back in those days, but that's how they would sit. And I agree. It's some people also say that it's an homage to, I think, WoW number 10, if I'm not mistaken. It could be WoW 4,
Okay.
But a Mary Marvel cover, which I can see, but I think this is somewhat original. So there you go. Just absolutely fantastic work by Adam Hughes, representing one of our favorite heroines, Supergirl.
Well, with the reach of Gary's channel, Bub, that guy should be contacting you any minute now.
Absolutely. I stand by the phone at the ready. So feel free. All right, folks.
We're reaching tens of people right now.
That's right.
We're going down for 35 seconds. I'm blazing through these. We got time for a couple of honorable mentions, but we won't get into that right now. So my spec book. So I am not a speculator on my channel. So take this with as much salt as you can possibly stand without it imploding like a slug. But here's the thing. Some books I've been right about. Now, one of the keys to speculation is that when you are correct, you need to get rid of that book. As soon as you believe it's reached the point that you think it will reasonably reach the height of sales, you need to offload that book. And if you don't, you will inevitably watch that speculation go dry again. Since I don't collect for speculation, I've watched my books go up in value, and then I've watched them go down in value.
Right.
I tell my wife whenever they're at the peak, and I keep it to myself when they're at the valley, and I just buy more. So here we have Planet Comics #1 by Dave Stevens.
Wow.
A book that has gone very high in value.
Yeah.
Is now starting to cool again. So my speculation is that the Dave Stevens hype train is pulling into the station and it has no more stops. The line is coming to an end. And if there is a Dave Stevens book that you're after, what I'm seeing market-wise is that the 9/8s are staying at the ridiculous prices. But the beauty of being a collector of such a fine good girl artist that was popular and during this time period, and we're talking, mid to late 80s, is that they printed a shite ton of these books.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a ton of them, and they're not particularly bad print qualities either. So there's not a lot
on that cover.
I believe you'd have a hard time to find a ragged out copy of this book. Most of them are probably going to be at least a 6 or 7 and up. So if you can get your hands on a 9/8, grab a 9/8. If you can get your hands on a raw, grab a raw. But if you're just wanting just a middle of the road book, I think you can pick up a high grade Dave Stevens book, just about any of them right now, between 8.5 and 9.4. Some off chance of a 9.6, and certainly any raws, high grade raws for a steal right now. These books are dropping hard, and all the people that bought into the hype are now seeing the prices drop and they're offloading them. They say, do you have a strong hand or a weak hand? Some people's hands are too strong. And on the Dave Stevens hype, a lot of people kept them a little too long if they were trying to make their money. So now you can still get a hold of them and get them. Yep. Hop on the mic.
I heard Gary's right hand is very strong, sir.
Yeah, there you go.
I don't know how it got that way is up to speculation. But.
The old gorilla grip Gary, they used to call him.
A lot of hard work, Bill.
Yeah. Most popular guy on the rowing team.
Now, I'm surprised you didn't have any Michael Turners tonight.
I know.
Well, I thought about that. I have a couple of favorite Michael Turners, and I have certainly when I was looking at, I didn't include Wonder Woman because Lasso's coming on next week, and I didn't want everybody to burn out on Wonder Woman. But one of my all-time favorite Wonder Woman covers is a Michael Turner cover. Also, he has a fantastic Red Sonja cover where she's there, and there's like, tentacles and stuff coming out of the water in front of her. That's another one of my favorite.
I have it.
Yep. There's also a great Red Sonja Spider-Man cover. Crossover cover that Michael Turner did. It's fantastic. I've got that one too. So there's a lot of great Michael Turner out there. Please, everybody, run out, get yourself some Michael Turner. And that's another book. No matter what happens, Michael Turner books never get expensive. Like, people love them, but they just don't go up in value. Same thing with Dave Stevens. So maybe they'll get a spike and they'll probably drop back down like the Dave Stevens books have too. So be on the lookout for that at your local shop. And I tell you there's a couple of artists that are uninvestable in my opinion. So here's a little extra spec. I find art germ books to be near ininvestable.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy them and be happy you have them. I'm not throwing shade on Art Germ's computer, but if you enjoy his art, that's fine.
Right.
But the chances are that book won't raise very much higher than the price you paid for it unless you just happen to get one of the bigger ones at newsstand price, whatever, off the rack. But whatever you paid for in secondary market prices have basically stayed the same. Another one is Alex Ross. So here's another very, very famous, artist. People love him, but he can't draw a woman to save his life. The females on his covers and his interiors all look like dudes with wigs on. So if that's what you're into, me and you may not have the same collection. But regardless of that,
Bob, I told you that in confidence, sir.
I'm sorry. You can't confide in me.
You blabbermouth.
Absolutely. So if you're picking those books up, I think that there's a chance that you're not going to be very pleased with your return on investment. Alex Ross books just don't gain in value. They flatline after they hit secondary market prices. Whatever you bought them for is what you'll get for them, and people get hot and cold on that. Another one is Scotty Young. Everybody goes through a Scotty Young phase, and then they kind of go cold on it, and they try and offload all their Scotty Young books. I saw J. Scott Campbell mentioned in the comments saying Turner is better than Campbell. Campbell books still go for big money. There's a lot of Campbell books that sell very well. Another one is Bruce Timm. There's a lot of big, where I'm trying to keep it in, good girl art stuff, just throwing some shade at Alex Ross for a minute. But mostly we're talking about good girl art here. Still on topic. So another one is Bruce Timm. Bruce Timm has some fantastic good girl art covers, and they command pretty good money when you get into more rare ones out there. Yeah. There's a lot of lesser, less popularized books or characters that you can still get pretty cheap that are fantastic. So I encourage you all to look into Bruce Timm as well. And
just a great style.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fantastic. And if you like him, you'll like the inspiration for him in Darwin Cook. So Darwin Cook, I still have a little Bruce Timm shade, very little. Still one of my favorite people I like to meet is Bruce Timm, and get a signature from him. That would be awesome. I walked in for dudes with wigs on. Bumpkin, I can't. Right. That's about right. Linsner. So here's the thing with Linsner. I like Linsner at a time. That's first of all, Linsner is another one that you can't resell. There's no, if we're going to stick with the speculation, Linsner has no secondary market value. But not just that, but after I collect about 4 Linsner covers, they all look the same. He only does like 3 or 4 different poses. Everybody, and you could say that about Adam Hughes too. But if I had a whole garage full of nothing but Corvettes, I still wouldn't complain.
Yeah.
Right.
And Linsner is not a Corvette. He's like a Honda Accord. So I like him. It'd be fun to drive one, but I don't need a garage full of them. Yeah. So that's all I got. Unless you have any other deep diving questions from the chat. We got any questions from the chat? What do you got here?
We got to everything on this channel. Jackson again. You know how he dozes.
Yeah. You got your host and guest, Bob. What's going on here?
I got to do it all. I tell you, I get exhausted. It's exhausting being me.
I do have a special book to show in honor of Bub that I've never shown before. That is a
Well,
good
I'll
girl.
let you steal his spotlight.
Hold
so
on,
go
I'll
ahead.
click you over. All right, you're in. Go ahead.
This is a pulp from 1950, Startling Stories. It's in rough shape, but it's volume 21, issue number 1.
Are you sending that to
Got a
me?
date stamp on her. Right
Oh
there.
yeah, I love good date stamp placements.
That is really nice. Holy cow!
I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah. That's another cover I've never seen. That's amazing.
That's love. Are you going to send that to me, or do I have to go find one?
You'll have to go find one.
All right,
She's got that scared look on her face, like she saw Bub naked.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like when you go on a trip and you don't think all this luggage is going to fit in the trunk. That's the same look she had. We're going to need a bigger boat. Yeah.
K-pop says sexy witches. Yes.
Yes.
And,
So in honor of Bub,
Mark Andrews.
I wanted to
Pulps are
show
awesome.
that one. Yes.
I appreciate that, Bill. I do like some pulps too. I've got a small pulp collection. I try not to go crazy. I think that's another fad craze. So if you're watching it and enjoying it, just hang back. In the end, there's only going to be about 25 pulps that are worth more than $100. So just hang back and and just be aware that you may never get those 25, but there's going to be so much out there for you to pick through and get in. And I get in trouble with my golden age cohorts for saying things like that, but I think it's true. And I tell them too, because one thing you know about Bub, it's anything he'll say behind your back, he'd rather say to your face. So that's a fact.
And the pulps, they do go up and down quite a bit. They seesaw quite
Well,
often.
yeah, I think CGC grading them, right, has spiked them, but they will come back down after everyone's kind of sent everything in and you realize there's so many of them. But I think there'll always be a market for them because for Golden Age collectors, a lot of them don't read the comics. They're buying it for the cover art. Mm-hmm. And some of the pulps, for Bub, I know he would say Planet Stories, like Planet Comics, has some wonderful covers. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Most of like half the Planet Comics are cover swipes of Planet Stories to begin with. I think that and again, this is an overgeneralization for collectors, at large, but I think a lot of us start collecting the stuff that we, is this a group thing now? That's all right.
I had one more book.
I mean, if you have anything interesting to say, we have
one use that ran out. This is what you get now.
I think the 45 minutes is over, right?
Yeah.
So I think that most of us start off collecting the things that we remember as a kid, our fondest memories in comics. We want to relive that. And then we start delving deeper into the origins of those favorite characters of ours. We start hunting down first appearances, stuff we didn't necessarily read as a kid, and go back and kind of fill in the gap and learn more about it. Then a lot of us just start key hunting, because then you get a flavor for keys and you're like, ooh, that was exciting to get a book. Mm-hmm. And you enjoy sharing it with other people, and other people going, oh, I love that book too. That's a big book I'd like to have. So that's a big thing for community and for camaraderie. And then you start kind of going further and further down the rabbit hole, and you kind of find your niche, what it is you're collecting more than anybody else. And so that kind of happens. And a lot of people end up in Golden Age that way and just cover hunting Golden Age books. And then there's kind of nowhere to go, right? Where are you going to go from there? So I feel like a lot of these Golden Age collectors have found pulps as a place to direct their, anxious, feverish purchasing power. And which is great for me, because as they sell off their Golden Age books, I'm going to scoop them all up. And when they wake up from this pulp fever dream, I'm going to call it back to them at double the price. So that's how it goes.
Fantastic.
Wow. Yeah. That was a fair analysis.
Thank you. I'm glad we're all four on here now, so you could share that, Jim. Yeah. Give this man his life.
No one else was able to talk when you were the main area.
No, everybody was on the peanut gallery. This is better.
Yes, always new rabbit holes, Mark. Yeah. I mean, as a collector, you can always find a new rabbit hole to send yourself down. It doesn't take much to spiral.
And many of us in the community are responsible for that.
Right? Yes, it's like 300. We're kicking each other into the holes.
Well,
Yeah.
it's like Gary kept showing this Starfire book, and I was out at Pittsburgh, and I was like, well, here's that book Gary was talking about, and it's only $1. I'm gonna get it and read it. I read it. I was like, damn, now I got to go find the rest.
Exactly.
Yep.
Luckily, it's only 8 issues.
Yeah, luckily. But I was
the
like,
original Starfire from the 70s before the DC implosion. I love that series.
It's a good
Great
series.
Mike Vosberg art. The first issue has an Ernie Chan cover, one of my favorite artists.
Yeah, I like me some Ernie Chan.
Where's your Planet Comics CGC collection at rank-wise, Bub? I know that's something you've been working on.
I think there's 73 issues total, and I think I'm well into the 40s.
Wow.
I have 45 or 46 of them already.
Are the Rivet ones the most expensive or not necessarily?
Yeah, they're the most expensive and the most difficult to find, to find them at all. There's some books I've never seen, but I know they're out there. I just haven't seen them yet.
Right.
But I'll be going to there's a collector summit in Dallas in a couple weeks only. And I'll be going there, and that is kind of the mecca for Golden Age, and also Silver Age too. But it's really weird. It's such a Golden Age focused convention, and it's a very small, tight convention with nothing but Golden Age dealers. But these Golden Age dealers will have all this, $60,000 books on the wall each, right, all over the wall, and then in the bin they'll have like 5 Spider-Man #1s in the ASM #1. They'll have, it's amazing. It's like they'll have complete runs, 1 through 6 Hulk. Like every dealer has 5 sets of 1 through 6 Hulk just with some Scotch tape, and here you go. You want this pack? I'll say this pack. So even if you're into Silver Age and some bronze, not a whole lot of bronze, but the biggest key bronze books will be there. Then that's a great con for that. Just picking up stuff that these guys are like, I took this in on a trade. It's like it's the Corvette dealer selling you that souped up Honda.
That's exactly right.
So, I took this on a trade.
So hope to pad the collection a little bit in a couple weeks.
Nice. Well, let's go around, see what everybody's got coming up. Jim, we'll start with you, sir.
When I get the packages for the second half of part 2 of my C3 pickups, I already had part 1 out, so go watch it. I made Justin Birch an offer live about I didn't have any of Justin Birch's books, and I said, hey, I will donate X amount of dollars if you send me signed books. They had to be signed books, and he did. And they're all like horror, and I'm not a huge horror guy, but I'm reading them right now going, wow, this is messed up. This is messed up, but it's great. It's a great story so far. So there's several of them that I'm digging into. So that's what's coming up next.
All right. And Bill, what's coming up for you, sir?
Bub keeps requesting Green Hornet episodes, so I'm posting them. But tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Saturday, I'll be on the Gray Man's channel on Cover Slingers for Balloons and Bubbles. We tried to get Bub on, but negotiations broke down with his management party. Do we treat him in now? So maybe we can get him on another one later.
Yeah,
but,
I did ask what the topic was, and when I heard it was balloons and bubbles, I certainly had something better to do.
Wash your hair.
I mean, something else.
I feel like that would be in your wheelhouse.
Previously committed. I didn't know what kind of bubbles and balloons they were going to allow. So we'll see.
Yeah, and you're always one to follow the rules, so you just stayed away from it. I understand.
I am a big rule follower. I am.
Yeah.
Now, next week for me,
I don't have a whole lot going on. How about you, sir?
We have Magic Lasso on the 22nd on the 10/11.
That's great.
And then we have Rich from Comic Cap Collectibles next Thursday on the 10/11. So we got a couple guys coming on. Ryan, this will be Ryan's 3rd time. He says if I had Bub on 3 times, the least I could do is invite him on a 3rd.
Right.
That's fair.
That's fair. The very least you could do.
Right.
Yes.
And Gary always does the very least. I
wouldn't have done anything more than the very least. You're a smart man, Gary.
And of course, Bob, what's coming up for you, sir?
Oh, everything's coming up roses for me. What are you talking about? We got this weekend, I'm going to a convention. Might do a little spy glassing around, taking some video, kind of practice run. I'm going to be submitting for some press passes next year for the next year's run of convention for 2025. Every convention I go to, I'm going to try and get a press pass for. So I need to hone my camera skills a little bit, do some interviewing. I'm going to do some light stuff just to have a few videos out there available for when they actually check the credentials of the press pass. I'm hoping Bill doesn't answer his phone during the reference portion of that vetting. So I'll do that. And then, so I got some cons coming up. I got the Collector Summit coming up there. So I basically have, including last weekend, I had like 5 weekends of conventions back to back. So it's a whirlwind time over here. So some comic hauls. I need to do a vinyl haul. I've been saying that for a year. So I got plenty stacked up. So a lot of stuff's going on. Check out my latest video for whatever I happen to have shown then, and check out my next video where you're going to be very excited for whatever I happen to show then as well.
Right. Now, are you selling at these conventions, Bub? Or
I only have one sales engagement coming up. The rest are just buying. So, and of course, the last one will depend on how well the sale engagement goes, how much the buying foray occurs at the following convention. So We'll see how it goes. Wish me luck, all. And
Absolutely.
If anyone's into some high grade Conan books at low prices, let me know. I got boxes of them. I'm just
Who
probably gonna
doesn't?
leave them out for the neighborhood kids on Halloween.
I know.
Yeah.
Who?
Yeah, I don't know who that. Oh, that's nice. Did Arnold pose for that? That looks great. Good stuff. All right, that's all I got.
You know, he's a Conan guy, but I actually got my quote on the back of the book, Bill.
That's a good point. I can't top that. Bub's the topper around here, anyways.
Yeah,
Right.
At least that's what the prisoners tell me.
yeah.
Spills a straight
I
bottom.
like to
We
hear
got
him
it.
wheeze out of breath. Get off me.
Lord.
Oh boy.
Gentlemen, this is exactly what I needed tonight. Thank you so much for the smiles and the laughter. What a great fun show. It's always fun having you guys on, so thank you so much. I want to thank, of course, my co-host always on Thursdays, Jim. Thank you, Jim. Always
Thank
great.
you. This was fun.
Bill, regardless of how he acts, he's a real gentleman. Came on last second, and thank you so much, Bill. When I knew Bub was coming on tonight, I'm like, I got to reach out to Bill again. I need someone.
I would only come on last second for Bub. I never planned. Yeah.
Yeah, but he was edging for 59 minutes.
Oh, goodness.
Yeah, I like to
What a
go out
great
with
way
a
to
bang.
end
I'm sleeping. I didn't know you could see me. But anyway.
You grit your teeth a little harder. That's all. That's the only way I knew. It was a sound.
Of course, Bob will have to get you on for an album version of the show.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
That
I'm
was fun.
keen.
But thank you so much. And of course, thank you we had a great audience tonight. So thank you all for coming on and watching the show. And for those of you catching on the rewind, we had too much fun to apologize to you. So if you don't like it, don't watch. But if you like it, well, you're still here. Thank you so much for watching. And of course, until next time, you know how we like to end this thing. We are going to say, keep it casual. There you go.